So I'm here with Jamie today, who is a brand new 90-day graduate. So thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's an incredible one. So I thought it was important to kind of document and get out into the public for them to see what you guys have done. So tell me a little bit. You came to the program wanting to do something for yourself, but I think your husband then said, I'll do it with you, kind of to support you. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, so I have tried other programs in the past, and you lose some weight, but then you put it back on, and but really felt like I needed something to change in terms of my not only my weight, because I felt horrible about myself, but also my anxiety. So I had been looking, and your feed popped up in my Facebook, and I just started watching your videos, and I'm like, wow, this sounds like it could be different. And I said to my husband, he had said to me, look, you either have to get another job because I work a lot of hours, or you got to make some changes because you're just not happy. So I showed it to him and I said, hey, I'd like to meet with the doc. And how about if you join me? And he said, okay, let's take a look at it. And so we did. And here we are just about 90 days later. And he said to me just the other day, he goes, this was the best investment in our health. And he wasn't looking for anything, although he's really happy that he did it with me to support me, because obviously there was changes we had to make.
Yeah.
And we have kids too. And although I was cooking, there were days where I was cooking two different meals because I wasn't going to they didn't need to go through the program. But now they're eating a lot of what we're eating. We're all kind of eating the same thing now. So it's been really,
Awesome. How much weight did you two lose between the two of you total?
I would, so it would be about 64 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
I saw some before and afters yesterday, and I was just gobsmacked. I was like, this is like two different human beings that are showing up now. And I'm sure that that dynamic of changing your lifestyle and doing it together has changed a lot in your household. So tell me, and I love how you are. One of my favorite things about you is you're just so blunt, which is why I wanted to do this interview with you, because from day one, you've been like, look, this is what it is. This is how it is. And so I feel like there's so many people out there like you that are skeptical about things, that, really are decisive when they decide to do something and commit. And so tell me just a little bit, like, the dynamic in your house now, what's changed for you guys, what the biggest like takeaway from the program has been.
wow, the biggest takeaway for me is that I feel so good. And that was my motivator through the whole thing. So, as you know, I had to do some traveling that came up unexpectedly for work, also getting my daughter off to college overseas. And as tempting as it was, because work events tend to have lots of fancy foods and whatnot. And of course, I was in Austria, which has lots of very good food and wine. But the fact was, I was feeling so good. And I noticed it, like, I think I was day 5 or something
Yeah.
in the program. And I'm like, so much better just in 5 days. I can't wait to see what this is going to do for me. So that was really, for me anyway. I mean, I was losing weight as well. But feeling so good, getting to the afternoon, like this time of the day, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't need anything. I don't need a pick me up. I feel good. I have energy. I'm sleeping better. So all of these things. And then my husband, who was starting to experience some arthritis in his hips, that's all gone because he's lost weight. And even his sleep apnea, which was not severe, but it's basically gone. And we both just feel so much younger. Like, I wish I had done this years ago. We're both in our 50s, and I said, gosh, I feel like I'm 35 again.
Isn't
So
it incredible what control inflammation has on your body, and that it's almost, and I hate to say like magical because it's not, you did all the work, but it's just incredible the things that you think are there and just part of aging and part of life that go away when you get inflammation down. And I think you experienced a lot of that. And I know your husband working out in the yard and things like that. It was a game changer for you both.
yeah, and that's what kept us so motivated. He loves to work in the yard. We have a 13-year-old son, and he would work with him, and he'd come in on a Saturday afternoon, and he'd need like 3 Motrin, because we're not spring chickens anymore. But not that we're over the hill and we feel like we're spring chickens now, but he'd take 3 or 4 Motrin, and in the last 90 days, he hasn't needed any Motrin. He comes in and he's still tired, of course, but feels
Awesome.
really, doesn't have that pain anymore. Yeah, I I just, I'm so thankful that I found the program. And the folks that, I talk to, I just tell them it's the best thing. It's the best thing you could do for yourself. And just feeling so, I mean, losing the weight is great. But feeling so good about myself. I had this perception like, oh, I'm old and I'm never going to lose weight. It's just impossible. And the stress is just part of life. And really was at that point. And that's when my husband said, look, you got to do something because you're unhappy.
I
So we're,
think a lot of women though can relate to that because you become a certain age, it's like 40 and over, you go in and you talk to your doctor and you say, I'm tired, I'm having hot flashes, my knees hurt, and these things are bloating and not being able to sleep. And they just kind of pass it off as like aging. Like that's just, what do you expect? You're 50, you're 55, these things are going to happen. And it's just not true. It's so inaccurate. It's amazing what changing your diet and getting inflammation down can do. And it probably added 10 years, 15 years to your life now, which is incredible. Now you guys have to make sure you like each other long enough to have a healthy, fun 15 years together, right?
yeah, I mean, we got 33 years together and hopefully another 33 ahead of us. So yeah, and what a great thing for us, as a married couple to do it together. And our kids have been so excited for us. They've been cheering us on. And I think that was the other surprising. Not one, I felt so good, and two, I'm like, I can't believe that my body is functioning so well. Like I can't believe it's healing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I didn't know it could do this.
Yeah.
And so it was really revealing. Yeah.
Removing obstructions, the blocks that you put into your body, once you remove them, it's allowed to actually do what it's supposed to do, which is heal itself and function optimally, which is where you guys are at now. You touched on another thing that I want to talk about, which was travel, and you had a daughter going off to college and all these stressors and like traveling. And it just goes to show you there's never a good time to
So
just commit and do it. And you had every excuse to fail, every excuse. I could have given you 7 excuses and been like, I don't know how you did this. But when you're at a place where you were when you arrived to me, which was, I need to make a change and it needs to start today. You were so committed. You're like, I've got this, I'm prepared for this, I'm ready. And this is a priority. So tell me about that. How that prepared you too for real life, right? Because that is real life.
it is real life. And so, I mean, the book that you sent, with the journaling, has so much good information in it. And I took those tips to heart, and I went and bought the chopsticks that you recommended, and the freeze dried fruit, and then even the beef broth, that's in a
Protein
packet
shake.
that
Yeah.
I want to. And so I knew while I was traveling, I could use those as a backup if I needed them. And I did. There were definitely times where, I was having chopsticks and freeze dried fruit for my meal that day. Um, but one of the things that helped me while I was traveling is I did have access to a kitchen, which really helped. So I did a little grocery shopping, not a lot. And I could do a little cooking, just enough to keep me going so that I wouldn't have to survive just on freeze-dried fruit and chopsticks. But having said that, my most recent trip, which was just a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have access to a kitchen. I was staying at a hotel for my company for the week, got there on Monday, didn't leave until Friday. And the first lunch out, I'm with my boss, and we're at a Texas Roadhouse. And so I ordered a salad with grilled chicken. Now, I don't know how they prepared the grilled chicken, but at that point I was okay. It wasn't in the first 20 days. So I figured I'm okay. And I ate that, and I skipped the rolls, which was really good because those rolls, if you've never been there, are really good. But I'm like, I feel too good. I don't want those rolls, and I'm not craving them anymore. I'm not craving sugar. I never thought I would get to the point where I wasn't craving sugar anymore. Because I'm a stress eater. At least I was a stress eater. I'm not anymore. But you just make better choices. And if one day I think I told you I had fried lobster tails, which were really good. So I just made sure the next day, like, I'm going back to a burn day. And I got back, and I didn't gain any weight. It was great because now I just know. I look at food and I'm like, I know what I could have, and
Yeah.
just come the
And
same
it,
break, same thing. Like, I know what I can have and what I can't now, and I don't have to write it down. I don't have to get on the scale every day. It's just wonderful.
and creating a balance, like what you just said. It's not that you couldn't have the rolls if you wanted them. You're just like, I don't really want them. It's not worth it at this point. But if you want to splurge on lobster rolls because that's what was a draw for you, then You can do that. And it's never about like, you have to do this. It's about living in balance and making smart choices and giving yourself the room to splurge and do those things, but coming back and having the answers. Especially with traveling, you'd come back sometimes and you'd be like, I gained a little bit, and we'd be like right back to a burn day and clean it up like that. And that's, I mean, one, having the tools, but two, having a body that's functioning optimally, that responds.
Yeah, that's really, that's it's so, and the fact that I'm sleeping so well, like I again, I was a stress eater. I was addicted to sugar. I'd go to bed at night. My husband would pass out in a heartbeat. I'd be laying there in my brain. I couldn't shut it off because I've got work, I've got kids, I got a house, all the stuff that we all have. And now I get to the end of the day and I'm like 9:30, I'm tired. I'm like, okay, and I get to bed by pretty much by 10 o'clock every night. And I make sure I get most nights. I mean, life's not perfect, but I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep every night. And I'm not tempted to, I was at the grocery store. We all know what it's like. You're standing in the checkout line and there's Snicker bars and all that stuff right there. I just kind of look at them like, yep, don't need any of that. I'm really good right now. So it's just, I feel healed. I feel healed. I feel healthy.
Well,
I'm happy.
you
It's
know, you have been such a pleasure to coach. We've had the best time. I love meeting with you once a week, and I'm going to miss you tremendously. However, you don't leave our family. You stay with us. I'm always here as a coach to help you. And listen, I look forward to more updates from you guys on your next adventure and your traveling and all that good stuff. So thank you so much again, and we'll talk soon.
welcome. Thank you.